we're gonna get into the gamify your life, how you accidentally switch from NPC to player. Here's the pivot that nobody likes hearing, because it removes the villain. If reality acts like a system, most people aren't losing, they're just not playing. And before anyone spirals, this isn't a moral judgment, it's a mechanics observation. My theory, just a theory, is the world quietly runs on an 80-20 principle. All right, pause, normal English. The 80-20 principle means this: about 80% of outcomes comes from 20% of inputs, okay? Not magically, not spiritually, practically. That's how the world works. 20% of people generate most of the momentum. Think about your workplace, okay? 20% of actions create most of the change. 20% of focus produces most of the results. So if you want to learn something new and you just dive into what you're trying to learn rather than going to university or something like that, you typically figure it out fairly well because you don't have this 80% of garbage. You have 20% of what you need, and those 20% create outcomes. Which means that the inverse is also true, right? 80% of people are stuck recycling the same inputs, same scroll, same conversation, same compliments. Think about the conversations you have with the people. They say the same fucking thing every time you see them. And they're all wondering, why nothing changes, man? That's always the same. They're not lazy, they're just stuck in what's called a feedback loop. That bottom 80% of people, distracted, dopamine drained, emotionally busy, but strategically idle. Same routines, same outrage, same one day I'll monologue on repeat. Then you got the 20% of people who are trying. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most of them are doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. You guys know the definition of that? That's not effort. That's low rank lobby behavior, bruh. Grinding the same mission, dying in the same spot. Bro, I'm lagging. Drugs, dopamine, distraction. That's not evil. That's attention hijacking. If your attention is owned, your inputs are owned as well. And if your inputs are owned, your outputs are fucking predictable, bruv. So here's the cheat code I accidentally walked into. When you treat life like a game, you stop moralizing outcomes. You start tracking moves. Effort becomes XP. Setbacks become side quests. Losses become data, not identity. You stop crying about outputs. You start optimizing inputs. Sleep, work blocks, reps, environment, who you talk to, what you consume. Boring stuff. Game winning stuff. And here's the wild part nobody else is going to tell you. You're not competing with everybody. You're competing with maybe 5 to 10% of the field, man. That's it. Most people tapped out mentally years ago. They're just physically present. That's why progress feels suspiciously fast. Once you flip the frame, same world, same rules, different awareness. No new talents required. No secret bloodline. Just realizing the tutorial never actually ends. Most people just stop reading the prompts. And once you see that, you can't unsee how many people are just standing there, controller in hand, waiting for permission to press start. Be honest. What part of your life still feels like an NPC loop?